represent interesting material that doesn't just talk about the world itself, but rather relates it to you as an individual. It makes it personal. And I think in a way, I think we need to have it be profoundly personal for people to get the message. It's like, it's like if you don't really realize that it's not just going to affect your economy, it's not going to affect the quality of the car you can buy, but if you think about it as collapsing our world, of really changing profoundly a lot of things that we take for granted, then I think we're really talking about something that's occurring on a totally different level altogether. And I believe actually it's happened before. I think that we're heading into, it's like the mythological collapse of Atlantis is something I've written about as a kind of interesting way of looking at it, that everyone knows about this previous world that abused its resources and its wealth and destroyed itself, and I think we're following the path of Atlantis. It's a very interesting metaphor to look at, because this is really the new Atlantis right now, and we have to be extraordinarily careful, I think.
I agree. I think we're headed. I think that is exactly what's going on, and we're doing things that are so much like the what Plato wrote about how Atlantis was destroyed that it's kind of creepy almost. We don't seem to be listening. We've disavowed the gods, as they say.
That's right.
And now we're here, and we have no way out, and we have no spiritual center. That's the other problem.
Well, that's what I think. I think if there's the kind of bottom line to the books that I write and the ideas that I've found myself connected with, and I love the fact that I've connected to people like Terence McKenna and Robert Lawler and Robert Thurman, who I went to a conference and participated with about 2 weeks ago at his retreat center near Woodstock. A lot of people are actually recognizing this, talking about it, and we need to really act. We can't fool around anymore. We have to really start taking these things seriously, and I love the fact that you're such an advocate of these kinds of ideas, because, we really need to make it clear that it's not just kind of esoteric mumbo-jumbo. It's something that's very realistic, it's very serious, and we need to look at it immediately.
Here, I agree. It's the most important stuff that's going on as far as I'm concerned, and we're heading, towards the singularity that Terence always talked about. And dang, if we're not going to hit it just about the time that he saw it coming. We're going to have Dennis, Terence's brother, on next week to talk about that. This has been, really interesting. I'd like to have you back, like maybe once a month or something on the show.
Absolutely.
Because I think you have a very clear. Yeah, you have a very clear view of what this is about, and I think you have a user-friendly astrology, and we really didn't get into it as much as I wanted to get into it. But we are going to be putting out a film with Tad coming out soon, actually. I'm going to be getting to work on it soon.
I think that will help, because the interesting thing about all of this, Jay, is that when people talk about what's going on in the world, it becomes very abstract. And people don't really know how it affects them directly. Well, a lot of my ideas are about not only that it's happening, but also what is your role in it, and what can you do as an individual, and how is it going to affect you, not just now, but a little further down the line. And I have to say that 2012 looks more and more accurate to me as the time approaches, much as it scares the shit out of me.
Well, I'm with you, and I don't know if you're familiar with the work of Cliff High, the software genius, but if you're not, you should go to halfpasthuman.com and check it out, because he has a computer program that sort of reads the collective unconscious, and he has a series of reports that he's written that have been incredibly accurate. And he's predicted the economic collapse of 2008 and Katrina. And he says that the world is going to be profoundly different by 2012. Profoundly.
Well, it is. I've written a reincarnation report for Tarot.com. And it also is something that a a lot of people have been writing to me recently. It's very new. It's only been out for 3 or 4 months. But what's interesting is it places you in history, and it's very, very specific. It's like people's little secret obsessions are becoming available. We need to explore them. We need to explore these ideas, and thank God there's so many of us that are on this track.
I agree. Oh, very exciting, and we're going to have Tad. It is Mann, atman.net, I think, is where you can find everything about him. We're going to have him on again and again, and I'm Jay Weidner. You're listening to Smoke and Mirrors, radio for the intelligent, and we're going to be back tomorrow night, and please tell your friends. Thanks for listening, and good night.